I decided to get Ultrakill because, like, why not? I've heard of it. It's an indie game. I love indie games because I got some passion, and buying Ultrakill was one of the best decisions I could have ever made. Now, in case that intro didn't get your attention, essentially, mankind's somehow dead, so you're a robot. Blood is fuel. I guess they ran out of oil. America took it all. And last thing, hell is full. I don't even know what that means, but I'm sure it'll mean something later on. The story begins with you falling down a pit, which will become a constant reoccurrence throughout your journey, and to be completely honest, my recording got absolutely shit on because the audio decided to take a goddamn hike. So here's a quick rundown for the intro. Your bum ass makes its way through an industrial factory run by friendly homeless men with fists and ones with balls. If you kill them and think that you miss them, then good for you, because they're going to be around every single goddamn section of the game, making sure that there is no area not infested with these blood-hoarding, below average IQ dumbasses. Now that we've passed that, we walk in on those guys already dead, which sounds alarming, but that's okay, because when we walk in on a boss room, we're greeted with the swordsman, who's been sent the job of losing, because he takes no skill to beat. After killing the swordsman, we're granted a shotgun which can demolish anything in a close range distance. However, there has been one feature I've been leaving out, which is different gun modes. For a revolver, you have the base version that charges up a powerful beam and could even make Omni-Man bleed. The second mode that launches coins in the air, and when you shoot them it automatically tracks onto the target with even more damage than usual. And then we've got my favourite addition, which is the ricochet bullets that bounce off walls for some satisfying sound effects. For our shotgun, you can launch an explosive projectile. For our second version, you get a pump action that can be overloaded and send you flying. And the last, you get a chainsaw. A couple bitch ass levels later, and we're greeted with an actual challenge. The Rock. Or technically, The Rocks. However, if you kill one of them low-key gets pissed when he sees his brother die, so he chooses to awaken the power of meth and amphetamine. These guys aren't too tough though, but as long as you know how to dodge like a Souls player fighting against the dark, you should be pretty good. Before I begin, once again, I couldn't learn my lesson, so the audio was a bit weird, and some of this has been recorded after I've played it. Nonetheless, we begin in a surprisingly friendly environment, which is strange for a place called Hell, right? As you venture through this place that feels like boxes connected to one another, the usual still occurs. Some enemies show up, you shoot them down, find these skulls to progress further, and then we're pleasantly greeted by a machine gun that is used to murk down those annoying ass firing heads. The machine gun has 3 additions, with the first creating a nail bomb, the second activating an overcharge, and the third creating some electrical pulse bullshit. So now, with the power of democracy on our side, nothing can go wrong. Until these ferrets decide to burn the whole place down by being one of the most annoying enemies to face. But who cares? We move onwards to our next boss, the Hideous Mouse.
Ew, you nasty ass bastard!
The next level is interesting as we walk into a church, and surely that glass panel isn't going to mean anything, right? As we walk into the boss, we aren't greeted by a man on the glass, and rather a red version of ourselves, V2. This was really the changing point of being shit at this game. It teaches you gun knowledge and movement, because without that, you're not winning. As he's defeated, one of his arms is left behind, which you can use to blow up enemies at melee range. And then he flies off into the moonlight. The next chapter we've got here is Lost, which begins in almost like an old-fashioned neon city that for some reason is located 5 light years above ground level. But the usual still happens with enemies appearing and you just shooting them down with a little bit of foreshadowing. Until we get to the next stage, which acts as a wave-like stage where you go searching for electrical boxes and then enemies begin to spawn. Once you get through playing hide and seek with a box, we unlock a new weapon that is responsible for committing mass murdering with just one bullet. It's no other than the rail cannon. The first variant of the rail cannon is just a long beam that pierces through enemies. The next variant is a drill, and the third mimics the floating head's crazy beam. With that out the way, the next stage involves water. Water stages are pretty cool. And we also get a new enemy that is just a green boy who likes to teleport and mess with your head. But he's pretty easy, and then we move on to the boss room. Which I kid you not, this hand at the beginning was harder than the actual boss. I don't know how, but this was just a pain to deal with, and it felt like I was playing Subway Slappers. But now onto our next boss, who has one of the coolest designs with the name, the Corpse of King Minos. He is just a big giant, and if you know how to parry, it's pretty damn easy. Just keep that goddamn hand away from me. Our last chapter to the edition that has been given the name of Gluttony, which is somewhat fitting because we seem to have found ourselves in someone's stomach. I could be wrong because I have no clue what's going on in terms of the lore, and I don't plan on, because why the fuck are the lore videos 50 minutes long just for me to know where I am? Anyway, the level design is actually pretty impressive, and it keeps that creepy theme of being inside someone. Okay, that sounded a little weird. But we can see the spinal cord, mouths, acid, which is honestly cool as shit. I'm no expert on the lore, but I'm going to assume we're in the belly of the big ass monster we just killed. But you get the point, as in Ultrakill fashion, we just kill some dudes. Moving on to the boss stage, which begins with some yapping.
Machine, turn back now.
And as you progress down a disturbing slide, we find ourselves the final boss of Act 1, Gabriel, Judge of Hell. Well, anyway, that's about it. If you want to see me make a video on Act 2, let me know, or even play any other games that you recommend. But overall, Ultrakill is a pretty good game. Has a nice style. I think the way the combat functions with one another is really nice. I'll definitely be playing Act 2. Whether I make a video on it or not, I'm not too sure, but I'll see you later.
Baby girl, let me see you do your dance, let me see you twirl. Shake an ass in the club with your homegirls. Take a pic for the gram, show the whole world.